unlocking your transformation. Maybe you feel stuck, maybe you feel lost, maybe you feel directionless. All of those feelings are completely okay to feel. Today is the video to help you transform out of those. Maybe you've tried transformation in the past and it hasn't worked. But today I have the formula, I have the framework to help you make that change. I have the 4-step proven framework to help you create lasting change within your life. I use this framework with my clients. I use this framework personally, and my mentor taught me this framework, and he's been using it for 20, 30 years now. So it's a proven framework. So to unlock your transformation, the first step within the proven framework to make change and create lasting change is to understand where you are at, better known as stabilize. Define where you are at and identify your current challenges. What do you want to transform? What do you want to change? Understanding those things, and then you can look at those in the areas of your professional, your relationships, your health, and resources. So go around those 4 areas and look at what transformations do I want to make? Maybe it's weight loss. Maybe it's a new job. Maybe it's a spark back in your relationship. Maybe it's a certain amount of money saved up so you can travel. Maybe it's better time management. Whatever it is, understand your challenges and identify what transformations you want to make so that in the later steps, you can work towards those and understand the strategy behind those. Now, on top of that, reflect on the past attempts you've already tried to make changes. Maybe you haven't tried to make changes in this specific area, but what are some areas that you have made changes, successful or not? Because you can get a lot of valuable information from that. Looking back, if you've ever tried to lose weight and you've been successful with it, there's a lot of things that went into that. You had to eat right, you had to go to the gym, you had to sleep good, all those things. Maybe you weren't very successful with that weight loss. Maybe you didn't eat right. Maybe you weren't consistent with your gym schedule. Maybe you didn't sleep good. Understanding why you failed in your past attempts or why you were successful in your past attempts can really help you make the transformation this time and make it lasting. The final piece of understanding where you are at is to ask yourself why. Why do you want to make this change? Because I hear so many people say, I want to make millions of dollars. Why? What's the reason? My reason is to make an impact. The more money I have, the more capital I can leverage to either donate to people or I can make my message broader and reach more amount of people. Some people just want the money for the status and the power, and I'd bet they'd burn out if they don't understand why. Start with why. Start with the inside core thing. You can go why, how, what. Simon Sinek talks about this point amazing 15 years ago in his TED Talk video. He talks about figure out why. And if you can define why and then build on top of that, you will be successful. If you look at Apple, if you look at the Wright brothers, they knew their why, and that's why they are successful. Then they defined the how, then they defined the what. So ask yourself why. Why do you want this transformation? What does it mean to you? So once you understand where you're at and you stabilize, it's time to move our next step of visualization, or where do you want to go? So you're gonna ask yourself the question, what does amazing look like a year from now? What does amazing look like 5 years from now? And you can ask yourself, what does amazing look like in the areas I previously mentioned, professional, relationships, resources, or health? And you can ask yourself, what does amazing look like in each of those areas to create that transformation? Maybe you only want a transformation in one area. Great, focus on one area and understand how that transformation looks like for you. Actually visualize this stuff and write it out. I have my visualization written out in my notebook, and I do it every year. I would encourage you to do a year-long visualization of where that looks. And then you could do a 5-year or a 10-year visualization to really understand what does amazing look like and what do you want to drive towards. Because once you do that, you can get excited for it. When I see my visualization, it's a little daunting and scary, but it also excites me because it's something I'm driving towards. And I get the opportunity every day to put one step closer to that visualization. And you get to do the same thing. If you create this visualization and write it down, you get something to step towards and work towards. So it's a really good activity for that reason. So once you've stabilized and then you've visualized where you want to go, it's time to understand, how do we get there? And that is strategy. How will we get to where we want to go? So the first piece of strategy is, I think, to set goals and metrics. So you need to define what are some actionable steps you can take. And I would encourage you to set daily, weekly, quarterly, and yearly goals. Now, I encourage all of those because daily allows you to get daily wins, and you can constantly build upon that. One of my favorite things to do is a bullet journal. You have all these rows and just days of the week, and then you have your action list, and then you write it out. Just bullet, bullet, bullet every day you do it. So that allows you get daily wins. I have weekly goals. Those help me look over a whole week. Okay, was I productive this week? Was I productive towards my goal this week? And then I have quarterly goals with goals that have predictions. If I do this, I think this will happen. So for example, I have my quarterly goals up right now, and one of them says work 20 hours a week outside of my day job. And then another one, I won't share all of them, but another one was no phone in my bed other than Webull and bank account, because I found I was wasting my time. So with the first one, working 20 hours a week, it's if I do this, I think I will be that much closer to being a coach full time. And then for my no phone in my bed is that I will gain my time back. My prediction is I'll gain my time back if I don't do that and don't just have my phone in my bed just scrolling on Reels. And those two have held true so far. So create actionable steps, make the work the goal, and then make the outcome the prediction. So if you wanted to lose weight, it'd be, I'm gonna go to the gym 5 days a week, and if I do that, I think I'll lose 10 pounds. Because you might not lose weight, but if you went to the gym and you look better, I call that a win because you controlled what you could control. And you pair that with diet, there's obviously stuff you can build upon that. But measuring those goals with actionable steps and then the outcome is the prediction is a great way to strategize. Now, you also need to break this down to give yourself little wins, to keep yourself motivated with those little actionable steps. I know that if every week I work 20 hours, that's a win for me, and I'll continue to increase that number, but it is a helpful starting place for me, and it can be a helpful starting place for you too. Just build on it. Another piece of strategy that you could look at is support. You can look for an accountability partner. Hey, I'm trying to make this transformation. Will you hold me accountable in these things I need to do? Also, you can join communities of people who are trying to do the same thing, whether it's weight loss, whether it's building a business, whatever it may be, whether it's getting a new job, whatever it is. There are communities out there that can support you along the way where you can ask questions. You have people doing the same transformation, kind of people you can lean on, which is probably another great feeling. On top of that, you can look at professional support. You look for coaches, you can look for mentors, therapists, whatever it may be. You also, another kind of support is maybe investing in a course. Whatever it is, you look at professional support and how they can help you get where you want to go, that transformation. Now the fourth step, the final step in this framework is to execute, and it's to take actionable steps. And this piece, I would say, is the most important. The first three are very important to get us to the actionable steps we're going to take, but I would say this is where most people stop. A lot of people like to think about what they're going to do, but they don't actually do it. And this is where I encourage you to really push through. Take consistent action, execute upon the goals you set and what you're going to do. Because think about the routines that are going to make you successful. What do you need to have in place to make action as easy as possible? For me, it's just these sticky notes right here and my stopwatch on my phone. I set a stopwatch, that's my timer to start working, and then I have my sticky notes, and it makes it really easy for me to know what I'm going to work on, and I just continue to do down the list, and it helps me a lot. So what systems and routines do you have in place to help make you successful with taking action? Whether it's a super loud alarm clock if you want to get up early, or go into a bunch of events, whatever it is for you, you need to identify what routines will make you successful. And then also look, how do you track your progress? As I said earlier, with the daily goals, you can use the bullet journal, but how else can you track the progress? With the sticky notes, I know if I did everything I needed to do in a day by looking at the sticky note, what I've crossed off. So understand, how do you track your progress? On top of that, understand how are you going to celebrate your milestones. I know that once I get done with a quarter, if I had a really good quarter, I like to be able to celebrate. And celebration for me is simply going to Freddy's, getting a burger, fries, and some ice cream, because that's something I don't do. I don't really go out to eat. And so it's to understand that what does celebration look like to you, but make the celebration not take away from your goals. I don't have a weight loss goal, so for me, going to Freddy's isn't a big deal. But if you do, don't go to Freddy's. So it's celebrating milestones and understanding how to do that in a way that rewards yourself but doesn't take away from your goals. And maybe it's more work. Alex Hormozi talks about he'll hit this big business accomplishment and he wants to keep working. Good. If that's his reward and what makes him feel good, good. Do it. Whatever it is for you. And then what barriers will you face through your execution? What are things that are going to hold you back? What are things that are going to prevent you from getting where you want to go? Identify those barriers so that you can see them before you hit them. And then on top of that, embrace setbacks and have a growth mindset. Things are gonna happen. It's not gonna go exactly how you wanna go. Embrace those setbacks. And that's kind of been a big learning of mine over the last years, that things haven't gone the way I wanted necessarily. That's why I'm documenting this journey. So 10 years from now, I can look back on this and be like, those were the hard times. And being able to embrace the setbacks that I've had has been really helpful for me. So I think it'd be really helpful for you to embrace the setbacks. Don't let it define you. Learn from it, and then continue to execute and continue to win. That was how to unlock a transformation, the 4 proven step framework.